Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Monday afternoon / evening Zoom edition. And Bitcoin dipped a little over the weekend and today. So the markets are overall down a bit. Altcoins hit a little harder, though Ethereum has held up pretty well. Let's go to the charts, check it out. Okay, should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yes.
And I've got some background noise. Could whoever deal with that? Thank you. All right, last 3 days of Bitcoin in the red. Looks like we're going to close in the red today too, down 1.5%. Kind of did some looking around for news. Didn't really see anything in particular. We do have some economic data coming up later in the week, inflation or something like that. So that might affect the markets. So Bitcoin and the other cryptos have essentially separated from the stock market. They're not as correlated as they used to be. I hope that continues. On Ethereum, we are up a little bit. We dipped, well, I thought we were going to break 2000, but it held. And then we are up a little bit on today's candle. So overall, market's looking pretty good. Nothing too crazy to concern ourselves with. Any comments, questions about the markets overall before we look for some day trades?
Can you have a look at XRP?
Yeah, we can do that. There was some FUD regarding XRP and alleged EFT. At least I saw that in my Twitter feed.
Is that where that came from?
I think so. Let's go down to
Was
the
that
hour.
ginormous whack?
Yeah, maybe down to 15 minutes. So this is what Craig's talking about. We had a big pump around 1:30 Pacific or Mountain Time. Shot up, then crashed and burned when the news was disproven.
Right. I got a 58% win on that, so that was great.
Gotta love that if you were in along at the time. So if you were in a short, you would have been probably stopped out or liquidated. So
yeah.
So far, so good. All right. Any other questions, comments about the markets overall before we head over to Altcoin Alert and iCoinPro? Okay. Now we do have some dip trades happening as we speak. So I'm going to head over to Didix. Change things up a little bit. This is on my, I think this is on Altcoin Alert too, as something to look at. Yeah, see number 2, 83.5. So it had a similar score this morning. This is one I've been tracking and trading today. And if I go to the 5-minute chart, you can see we're in a dip sequence. Got our squeeze, the bubble, 1, 2, 3 in right about here. So I am in this trade as we speak. The structure is still holding, not financial advice, but if you're interested, you know, this could be a 1, 2, 3 dip to enter. I'm down a little bit though. I got in a little too soon. So that's where we are on that particular trade. Wanted to bring it to your attention in case some folks wanted to take it. But since we're on this chart and on the 5-minute chart, yeah, this is the perfect setup. Got the dip sequence. Structure looks good. We're in the green zone as far as support and resistance. So yeah, that's a go as far as I'm concerned. If you think it might dip further, you want to set a price alert, maybe down here around 290 towards the bottom of the green zone. You know, we're pretty close. We're 296 at the moment. 293 might be a good place to set that price alert. And yeah, go ahead and jump in, call it maybe AA score purchase. And on your notifications, this is what I usually do, notify in the app on my phone, pop up on my computer screen, play a sound. So that's how you do that. Yeah, now on a dip trade, I'm not always looking for, I'm not necessarily looking for confirmation, but if you want to hold out a little bit longer and wait for, cumulative delta to print some more green candles, maybe go to a lower time frame. Yeah, you can do that. You can also, as you've seen me do many times on the 15-minute chart, wait for the RTI to break above the 20 value, which it hasn't done yet. So that's a pretty quick alert like this. Right click in the RTI, crossing above, crossing up on the 20. Once per bar close, we'll keep this on until you turn it off and call the alert what you want. If you want to trade both directions, for it to dip below 20, break, and also to break above the 80 and come back down to short that condition, then we're gonna enter a channel, 80 on top, 20 on the bottom, once per bar close, AA score. But I already have that set up. I'm also exiting a channel. This was more fun when the market was pumping, which it has not been doing today. So exiting a channel. So it breaks above the 80 like this here. Bring my horizontal line out. Here's a break above the 80. As you can see, that's a really nice move up. Broke through with some force, supported by the cumulative delta. And then you get a nice move, 7%. That's a good one there. On a dip below the 20, a break below the 20, that happens here. So it's sort of a fake out. So it goes up again before dipping. So I probably would have done some money management, made a couple additional purchases. Made at least one there, probably gotten out around here. As you know, I'm looking for a 1% move on the chart at 10x leverage. So I would have been out around here, but you might want to stay in longer on a short position. Okay, I realize I skipped around a lot on that one. Any questions on Didix or the setups we looked at? Okay, the next one I'll just start from the beginning like I usually do.
So I took that trade, CJ, so on Didix. So we'll see what happens.
Cool. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that's an AA score. Let's refresh and take a quick look at 1 hour projected range. Yeah. If I see a big number here in the middle, then I'll look at that. But 2s and 1s, not so much. Social activity sort, I'm going to see some that match up. Fire and fire, or fire and thumbs up and thumbs up, that kind of thing. Then I'll look at that a little closer. BNT got hammered today. That's a little too much. YFI, I had to set up on this today, but it hasn't triggered yet. Chromia is something I've looked at today. Rune as well. Yeah, so these are all coins sort of my buddy coins. These are ones I've set alerts on. So let's look at Chromia. Start the 5-minute. It dipped. We have the squeeze and then the dip. 1, 2, didn't really give us a third one. So kind of going sideways at the moment. You might want to wait for a break above. If you're a little more aggressive, you can wait for a break above the 20 on the 5-minute chart. I wait for that on the 15 and set my usual alerts. So it's trending down on the 15 on the delta. I might kick off this squeeze. It's too slow. I changed it to 14, which would the default's 20. I dropped it to 14. We'll see if that makes a difference. So on the RTI, the alerts are going to be the same. To get that trend trade, we're going to exit the channel. $80 on top, 20 on the bottom, and call it what you want. You can also, I haven't talked about this much. When I first started using this, I was looking at values that broke above the 50, but I was getting faked out too much. Like here, it breaks above the 50. Pretty good confirmation. And maybe this works out for me. Let me look at this real quick. Yeah, I might have squeezed out a 1% on that, but then, craters quite a bit. So the 50 can be another value that you use. Add an alert on the RTI. And we're just going to be crossing the 50. And that's the middle, it's like it sounds, it's the middle area of the RTI. When something breaks above it, it tends to keep going. But I've had more success with the 80-20 because those moves tend to be stronger. You get something like this. And, the red here. So those I like a little bit better. So exiting the range on the 80-20 side is what I like to do for trend trading. And then for my dips and pumps, I'm going to enter a channel, 80-20, once per bar close, and call it what you want. I think this would be social activity. But I've got this alert from this morning, so I'm not going to do another one. Okay, I went through that kind of quickly. Any questions on Chromia? Okay, that was a social activity sort. Another one I like is Elder Impulse. I mean, long-term sentiment to match up with the Elder Impulse. And you can hover over these question marks if you want to see what these mean. But essentially, it's what people are talking about online matched up with technical analysis. Usually worth another look. Filecoin has been pumping lately. Matic has as well, done pretty well. So let's look at Filecoin. I was looking at this today. I ruled it out for some reason. I can't remember why. I think this, let's look at maybe an hour chart on this. Yeah, it had a big pump over the weekend, which is kind of unusual, and a pretty big drop as well. So this one's been pretty volatile, maybe too much so. So this has gone through multiple dip sequences. Currently, we've got a dip, we got a 1, 2, and then sideways. So I'm not loving that. RTI is about to break on the 5-minute chart. Could be a good entry. On the 15, hasn't broken above yet. Delta is sideways on this time frame. Where was it on the 5? Drifting up a little bit on the 5. So don't really have much in the way of confirmation, but that's not unusual on dip trades. So if you want to trade, if you're fairly new to trading and you just want to go with spot trading, say on Coinbase or Binance, if you're in one of their jurisdictions, we're just going to go for longs, wait for dips and go for longs. So in this scenario, you're going to be crossing the 20 once per bar close and keep that on. So that was a long-term sentiment. And I got my 3 notices, and then you might want to choose one of these that isn't too obnoxious. I've talked about 3 notes reverb and chirpy before. Beep beep's not bad. So that's how you do that. And then on your breakout type trades, that's your 80-20 on the exiting channel. On your dips and pumps, the retraces 80-20 on entering the channel. But I've done a few of those already, so I won't do another one. Any questions on Filecoin? Okay, any questions on Altcoin Alert before we head over to iCoinPro? Okay, very well. Go over to iCoinPro. They have 2 tools I like to use, the RSI Spy and the Buddy Coin Crawler. Most of you guys have at least looked around this based on the 1, 2, 3 dip training. This is one of the places I learned that. My day trading mentor is from this system and then kind of created his own thing, but it was definitely influenced by this. So I joined it and I've been with him ever since, going on 4 years now. The Altcoin Alert guys know I talk about this, so we think they work pretty well together. There's a little bit overlap, but there's more training, more day trading kind of training in iCoinPro, and it's more of a conservative approach. They're just looking to get 1% a day on your balance. It's harder than it sounds, but anyway, on this tool, on the RSI Spy, I'm sorting by the 1 hour RSI. I'm looking for values at 30 and below. These are coins that have been kind of beaten down or due for recovery. They can be in the midst of a dip sequence. So we'll go ahead and look at a couple of these. Woo is something I trade. DGB volume's kind of dropped. ADA's in here. XMR. It has Bitcoin pairs as well, which I'd like to get rid of, but can't seem to do that. There's a lot of coins in here that I trade: Ren, Ocean, Link, KSM. So I'm looking for the one that I have up here. I was looking at AVAX earlier, but it looks like it dropped out. So Theta, I trade, ENJ. Yeah, these are like some of CJ's favorites in here. Let's look at ADA. It's kind of a classic. Okay, on the 5, got our squeeze. It's bubbling. 1, 2, and then sideways, dipping again, then trending up. RTI has not entered the 20 zone yet, and the delta is mostly sideways, drifting up a little bit. Not a confidence-inspiring setup. We have not crossed the 20 yet on the 15-minute chart. So on the 5, I might just, this isn't a bad entry right now. You might want to wait, get better. If you want to go above the 20 on this, crossing, it's at the 19 now. If you just want to do it once, don't need to set once per bar close, leave it on only once. And this is maybe your confirmation alert. And click create, and that'll let you know when it crosses above 20, since we're already in a dip sequence on ADA. If we're looking for something better defined, go over to our 15, and maybe we want to leave this on for the rest of the night. We can click on the RTI, and we can exit a channel at 80-20 to get those bigger moves, those trend trades that I described earlier. And then if we want recoveries from dips and pumps, that's going to be entering a channel. Again, 80-20. And you can do this once. or once per bar close. And if you want to just look at values that break above the 50 and below the 50, crossing. If you are trading spot, you can go crossing up on the 20. So those are lots of different options depending on how you want to trade this. RSI SPY, create, you're good to go. Okay. Any questions on ADA?
Ms. Kim, I don't have a question on ADA specifically, but the 1, 2, 3 dip, do you have to buy the iCoin to get the training for that, or can you buy the training separately, or is that
No, you should have received a link to that if you're on my email list. I send that before my Monday and Friday Zoom calls. There's a reference to it. Well, actually, just on my Monday calls, because I don't talk about iCoinPro on my Friday calls. But on my Monday calls, on my email list, there's a link, and you can get the free training. You give them your email, and they're gonna try to pull you in for a paid account, but you don't have to. You can just watch that training and learn it. So
okay? Okay,
And
I'll go back and look at the email.
okay, if you can't find it, or check your spam, and if it's not there, email me or find me on Telegram, and I'll get it to you. Okay. Think we're done with ADA then. Let's see what else we can find.
Can I share a trade that I've got going on at the moment on XRP?
Okay. Go for it.
So we can see this.
Yeah.
So this line here is my entry. So it came down after that big dump, and it started to retrace. And so I decided to enter here, and it basically went backwards on me, and now it started to move. But coming down to the TTM squeeze, which I really like, I've highlighted the dots in it so that they're really easy to see. I've made them really big and really easy to see. This indicates a trend. Now, this down one is sort of showing a lot of negative strength, but the yellow dots are indicating an upward trend. And looking at my RSI, it's at the bottom too. I'm on the 15-minute chart here, and this one is also, that little green dot at the bottom is also indicating an upward trend. So I'm currently 42% up on this trade, and it's still looking like it's got a ways to go.
Okay, what's your leverage on it?
33.
All right, so Craig's up about 1.2 or 3% on this on a chart. You just heard his leverage. He's using some other indicators, stuff I've used in the past. The RSI, I'm using the RTI now instead, and the TTM is something I've added.
That's on your chart now, isn't it? The
Right,
TTM.
right. I was just about to
You
say that.
shorten the length.
Yeah. So, and Craig's done some different things with how it looks, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, so our goal here, it's not necessarily to make you trade like me, but it's to get better entries from these tools that we have. And if indicators can help us do that, then we all make more money and faster. And my DIDEX long is done. I got my 1% on a chart at 10x leverage. I'm happy. So
Yeah, mine's doing well too.
Cool. All right. Any questions for Craig or myself on his XRP trade? All right. Thanks for sharing. And I will go back and look for another one on RSI SPY. Then we'll head over to the Buddy Coin Crawler. See, we looked at ADA, and Link is something I've been interested in as well. Volume is big. Let's check it out. It's nice to see some of these bigger coins showing up in these sorts. Look at the 5-minute really quick. Again, we have a dip sequence. Dip here. 2. We never really got a third one, though it might be heading for a third one. So I don't think I'd get into this right now. I'd set an alert either on a price down here, maybe around 14, 27, 25, something like that, or wait for the RTI to break above the 20, at least on the 5-minute chart. So I think that's how I'd handle that. That's really easy to do. Right click, add an alert, crossing 20. And there you go. You don't need once per bar close, but it's just one time. So this would be like a confirmation alert. So that's how you do that one. If this is something you want to trade throughout the rest of the night, or if you're in a different zone throughout the day, then we have the 80-20 that I've been showing before. 80-20 exiting the channel for, drops like this. We've had a couple fake outs up here above the 80, so keep that in mind. But Link has had a pretty good run lately, and it's bound to give some back. So it broke up all the way to about 1650, and now it's dropped about $2. So that's a pretty large percentage we've lost. Yeah, 13%. So, but overall, the market's been trending up. So if you're shorting, either maybe use a smaller amount or a stop loss, or don't get stuck in a bad short. Okay. And then on the 15-minute, the 80-20 approach, entering a channel, that's going to enter a channel if it breaks down and then comes back up. So that'll enter the channel at the 20, or if you get a move like this where it breaks above the 80 and then drops. These were all excellent entries on shorts. So, okay, any questions on Link? Okay, let's go to Altcoin Alert's buddy coin crawler. Oh wait, messing up my info sources. Actually, since we're here, let's look at the fear and greed index. I almost call it the feed and greer index. Fear and greed index, greed 73. It's taking yesterday's data, so it's always a day behind. Even though we've been down, evidently we're greedy. So, and when we hit extreme greed, that's when I'm going to look to sell some of my holdables, or at least portions of them. So, buddy coin crawler. So I'm sorting this on the average low, the 24-hour low of the coin, to the SMA line. That's the red line you see between the Bollinger Bands on my charts. Looking for values 4% and higher usually, and got quite a few. This Celestia coin has been quite the buzz among crypto traders and enthusiasts. So I'm not going to go into a breakdown. If you're in the Crypt Nation group, I think it's in the newsletter this week. Maybe it was last week, but I want to check that out. I think maybe we'll look at this one. Yeah, I'm sure it's on. I think it's on Coinbase. And the ticker is TIA, and is on Coinbase. So on the 5-minute, this is really not in a dip sequence, but it is pretty close to the green zone, which is about 485, 484. So this could be a good price alert in this vicinity. On the 15-minute, I'd want to see this. It's done really well breaking above the 80. alert. And it hasn't broken below the 20 in quite a while. Yeah, not since here last Thursday on the 9th. So, but this did make a nice move after it broke above the 20. So if you're spot trading, you could look for even 3 different areas to do this. You could also look for something that breaks above the 50. And this one's about to dip below the 20, so this could be an entry, a pretty good entry on this. So your alerts are going to look like this. Crossing up on the 20. That's going to be that red area, then coming back up. You could set the 50 once per bar close. And that's this. I've actually added this line, this dotted bright white line. There's a light gray one on the indicator. I'll show you that in a moment. And then you could use the 80 for a big break once per bar close. You could set those 3 separate alerts if you wanted to try to catch good entries on this one. And the modification I made to this, you go to the style, and this is the midline. Made sure it was at 50. I think it was light gray, and then I made it bright white, and then I put the output I put on 100% so I could see it. Because when I first started using this, I was trading off this 50, and then I thought, but then I had better results with the 80-20 approach. Okay, any questions on TIA or Celestia? All right, Frank has bought TIA at 239. Nice. All right, well, any questions on Altcoin Alert, iCoinPro, the markets overall, day trading in general, or any coins you want to look at? Okay. Then I will end the call here. If you're watching on the recording, I appreciate that. Please check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel. And I hope to see you live next time. Next Zoom call will be Friday. And I will let you go. We'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.